Life's too short to have a boring job. You're probably watching this video because you're interested in photography. You love photography, as I do. I want to present a little video about the business of photography, because eventually one day you're going to think, well, maybe I could earn a little bit of money out of this photography game. I've learned a lot, I'm quite knowledgeable, I can produce good quality images, so maybe I've got a career in this, or maybe I can just earn a little bit of extra money on the side. Now, I'm in Australia, so our laws and our business practices may be a little bit different to your country, so you need to investigate that particular situation. But the basic thing is that you already pretty much have the gear you need to start a photography business. You could start a photography business tomorrow. In Australia, there are no particular qualifications that you need to be a photographer, and I know that's the same with a lot of countries. So you've got a camera, you can start a photography business if you can produce good results that people will pay for. If you have a flash and a tripod, then that extends your possibilities even more. You have a computer. Most of us have a computer. So you've already got that stuff that you need to start a business. It's not like starting any other business where you have to get licenses, you need to pay money to set up, you need to have stock, you need to have a lease of premises, all of that sort of stuff. You need to have employees. You don't need all of that stuff to start up in business as a photographer. I've been in business here for about full-time for about 30 years now, and I haven't employed anyone. It's a one-man business, and I've done quite well out of it. So think about it. Now, a lot of people told me when I first started in professional photography that I wouldn't enjoy it as much because it was my job. That hasn't been the case at all. I love photography even more than I did at the beginning. I get to do it every day. I can't wait to get down here into the studio to start working. So consider doing this. Consider getting out there and start charging for some of your work. Because one of the other major things is that there's no risk involved, or very little risk involved. You don't need to take a loan out to get all the equipment. You don't need to get huge insurances. It's a good idea to get a bit of insurance, public liability particularly. But you don't need a lot of the things that other businesses have to pay out for. So if they go broke and they don't get the business, they're in big trouble for quite a few years until they pay off all of that stuff. You don't need to, because you've already got the stuff you need. Be careful of going out and buying too much good equipment. A lot of people think, well, if I want to be a professional photographer, I need to get this camera, I need to get this lens, I need to get these sort of lights. That's a lot of rubbish. You can just shoot the way you shoot normally. As you earn more money, you can maybe invest it in a little bit better flash equipment, a little bit better tripod, a little bit better camera possibly, but it's really not going to make a huge difference. The thing that will make the difference is your passion for creating images that your clients will want. Your knowledge, your skill as a photographer will make the difference. You get to be creative with this game. There's not many jobs that you can do that at the end of the day you've actually created something. And people love photographs. There's so much work out there for photographers that we just don't realise. The first thing people grab when their house is on fire is their photographs. They really mean a lot to people. So not only are we earning money from our work, we're giving people a memory, an heirloom, an enjoyable experience of being photographed. There's so many positives to being a professional photographer. Now, you may feel safer to keep your normal job so that you've got money to pay off your ongoing debts, your mortgage and things like that. That's fine. You can do a bit of photography on the side. Do it at weekends. Do it in the evenings. If you've got a studio set up, you can do it on your days off. Things like that. So I don't want you to risk your life and your livelihood, but just think about getting into it a little bit at a time. Once you've built up your photography business to a level where it's comfortable and it's getting good income, maybe you can jump across and get rid of your old job and become a professional photographer. But don't go at it rashly. Take your time, enjoy the trip along the way, and you might find that you've got a job that's not really a job. It's something that you love to do. You also need to think about things like pricing, how much you're going to charge for your work. There's a lot of information on the internet about that sort of thing. You need to think about business skills, because being a good photographer is not the most important thing when you're in business. It is the business skills that you have. You need to understand tax. You need to understand GST, as we do in Australia, or VAT, as they do in England, and whatever taxes are applicable in America. You need to understand a bit about marketing, about getting the word out there so that your customers will come in. Advertising, all of those sort of things. Bookkeeping. These are things that you can learn along the way, and there are a lot of resources out there to help you with that. But mostly the thing that I wanted to do when I started out in my photography business was to treat people the right way. Treat people with respect, treat them in the way that I would expect to be treated. And it heads off so many issues that you may have. If you treat people nicely, if you give them enjoyment while you're photographing them, it just makes your life so much better, makes their life so much better. You're producing amazing images for yourself and for them. And in the future, I'm going to put together a few short videos that can help you with the situation about getting the images that people really want. So consider it. Get out there, think about earning a little bit of money from your photography. You may not want to tackle weddings straight away. You may want to. You may love shooting weddings. I really love shooting weddings. It's one of my most enjoyable jobs that I do. Don't just take my advice. Think about it yourself. It may not be for everybody, but if you don't get out there and give it a go, you'll never know. Life's too short to have a boring job.